Charles Leiter passed away very suddenly. The papers are missing.
But I prefer to do things by the book.
We're going to perform the autopsy. We will perhaps do it, probably tonight.
Cecil Hunter. Anybody heard of this chap?
Witchcraft, you know. It's all a load of nonsense, really, these trials.
Is it the concept of this Atlantic City breakaway and desperate acts?
Oh, the gambling man.
Kirk here had an encounter in the morgue.
And what was the eyes like? Can I ask about the eyes?
I said I don't want to talk about it, goddammit.
Maybe it wasn't a heart attack after all.
So what was it?
Well, that's what we're trying to find out.
So, Lucy, what you mean is that he got these rare books and then engaged talented artists to make forgeries, to make copies of them?
Oh, the other guy's real sweet. Abner Wick. My hearing's not so good as it used to be, Mr. Oakes. Did he just threaten us?
My house. I hate it all in my house.
I'm sorry. Could you repeat that again? His legal guardian was who, did you say?
Dr. Charles Leiter. Hey, Mahoney, don't be afraid to rough him up a little. I know guys like this Abner Wick.
How can I help you, my dear? First time at unconsidered trifles? How about dinner? My treat, Crawford's restaurant, tonight?
This door looks like it's being put in by someone who was concerned by... who recently had his back door smashed.
You'll never find me. Anthony Flinders leaps out. He's still ranting and saying, "It was you, that's why you tried to shoot me. You're in the league with them, but now you've fallen into my trap. Hail Satan!"
Oh, that's fine.
The floorboards shift. And then you hear this deep, guttural, snarling. The Apocalypse Players present Crimson Letters. A Call of Cthulhu 7th edition scenario by Alan Bligh. Starring Joseph Chance as Dr. Jonas Steinweg, Danann McAleer as Professor Duckworth, Dan Wheeler as Kirk Sleep, P.I. With our special guests, Doug McAndrew as Dr. Althea Montrose and Mike Perceval-Maxwell as P.J. Mahoney. The Keeper of Arcane Lore is Dominic Allen. Chapter 7, Hide and Seek. Well, I think in the interest of suspense, let's start at Crawford's restaurant. Crawford's is a well-known Arkham institution. It's got a big glass-fronted facade. There's a kind of terrace that you sort of, you go up the steps onto the terrace where there's sort of outdoor alfresco tables. It's lots of vine leaves and flowers. And as you walk behind the elegantly waddling Abner Wick, in his sort of vapor trail of cologne, he breezes through the main doors that are all very ornate, sort of Parisian fin de siècle style, very bohemian, and he lots of green and muted sort of natural colours. He breezes in. It's chandeliers, cut glass crystal. It's a sort of middling lunchtime. It's sort of maybe a third full. You can hear the soft tinkle of glass and cutlery, and the maitre d' smiles and beams with acknowledgement at Abner Wick as he breezes in. Oh, my dear Walter, I don't suppose you could accommodate a lunch group, very short notice? And the maitre d' says, "Oh, Mr. Wick, for you we will move heaven and earth." And then he's clicking at waiters, and they're like rushing to get a special table ready over in the booth.
PJ is not at all comfortable in such a prestigious establishment.
The maitre d' is also not comfortable with you being in such a prestigious establishment. He makes that abundantly clear, but gives you the benefit of the doubt as Abner's guest.
Do I gotta wear a tie to be in this place?
Oh, no, not at lunchtime. Not with me.
Keep me right on which fork to use and which knife goes where with what. I don't know from this.
You will be fine. You'll be absolutely fine, PJ.
Yeah, give me a pot of stew and a big spoon, and I'm your man. But all this fancy, fish knives and dessert forks, and I don't know where I am with that.
Abner Wick puts a meaty, clammy hand sort of on your shoulder, but slightly too close to your neck, and says, "Oh, my dear, you don't need to impress me. There's no judgment here."
I'm a widower, so
Recent widow?
Recent enough.
I see. And then the maitre d' the table is ready, sir, and whisks you over. You sort of pass through these tables to this very nice padded, it's sort of a circular booth. It's sort of opulent red leather seats, and Abner Wick sort of squeezes his way in between the table and the booth and gets sort of like opposite the entranceway. And there are these sort of little green velvet curtains that can be drawn to sort of give maximum privacy. The waiter sort of takes any drinks orders.
A glass of milk, if you'd be so kind.
If you want to order food, you're more than welcome. It's all on me, my dears.
Oh, you do steak?
Oh, they do the finest steak. I recommend getting it blue.
Getting it below what?
Blue, my dear.
Oh, blue.
They just...
What is that? Is that like a fish steak or something? Is that what kind of a steak is a blue?
Have you ever had steak tartare? Their steak tartare is very good.
I ain't never had that. No.
Well,
I don't know what that is. Is that like a kind of sauce?
It's minced beef raw with raw eggs and chilies. Seasoning.
And what do you do with that?
You eat it. You devour it.
That's disgusting.
You would prefer well done, I suppose.
I have a steak. I have a medium steak with potato chips.
Very good.
Well, I'll join you in that. That sounds wonderful. I'm quite peckish myself, Mr. Mahoney. Yes, make that too. I'll have mine medium rare if you don't mind.
And as for myself, I'll have the special. And the waiter sort of nods. Dr. Steinweg, steak? They don't offer the special to everyone. If you'd like.
It sounds charming, but I think it would play havoc with my indigestion. A gentleman of my age has to be a little careful. Does he have some fish, perhaps?
I'm sure they have excellent
The catch of the day. I'd be guided by you, Mr. Vic.
Catch of the day, please.
Catch of the day in Arkham. Fuck me.
I'm not from town.
Oh yes, we have something fresh in from Innsmouth Harbour this morning.
I just realised that potato chips are crisps, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
The least Belgian meal you can order.
A baked potato with my steak, please.
Have a mashed potato. Slaw.
Very good. Very good, sir.
And peas. Peas and gravy.
Yes. Catch of the day is from Innsmouth Harbour today. His name was John. Yeah. So, here the waiter leaves you in the booth, and Abner Wick says, "Well, down to business, I suppose. What can I help you with? And more importantly, what can you help me with?"
Well, Mr. Wick, I first of all, I do apologise for my hasty words and intemperate outburst at the shop. It's been a rather pressing couple of days, you understand. So my apologies. I am
Not at all, madam.
Librarians ought to conduct themselves a little better.
Oh, my dear, I am also given to hot flashes occasionally. One cannot maintain complete civilization at all times.
So, shall we talk?
Yes. You're looking for something?
We are.
Yes, the
Hobhouse Papers, yes, and Mr. Leiter, and so on and so forth, and concerns of the estate, and indeed the Miskatonic University. It's a bit of a mystery.
So you don't know where they are?
Why, if we did, then I doubt we'd be enjoying this lovely lunch with yourself, Mr. Rigg, all due respect.
Well, I can tell you that I had an arrangement with Mr. Leiter that he assured me he could acquire me the Hobhouse papers and arrange for them to be sold on. Now, I am a facilitator of sorts, really, but the Hobhouse papers are unique, and I have a personal interest in them. So I, of course, made a bid. Unfortunately, it wasn't terribly long before I was outbid. It turns out there are parties who have a great deal of desire and an almost limitless amount of resource. These parties will be very angry if they don't get the papers.
What was like some kind of an auction or something you were having there?
Like a private auction, a quiet auction.
And you know who this party is? Did they purchase the papers? They have them now?
Oh, Mr. Mahoney, I'm not at liberty to divulge information about my most important clients, but I can tell you that they never received the Hobhouse papers because they never came to me in the first place. Unfortunately, Mr. Leiter must have passed away before he had the opportunity. So you see, Dr. Montrose, I am also under a great deal of pressure.
But as I said, we had a conversation with a couple of gentlemen from the Atlantic City mob. Let's be blunt.
Oh. Well, I don't think you need to worry about them.
Well, I rather think we shouldn't, but a man like yourself mixed up in this, well, you're very thorough, I'm sure.
Well, let's get down to brass tacks, shall we? At which point the curtain whips open. And the food is here. And sure enough, these plates come in as the steak and mashed potato, the steak, and
that's good. Yeah, thank you.
As this is coming over, Dr. Montrose kind of glances over and says, "My bark is very much worse than my bite, but as far as the two gentlemen we met earlier are concerned, I'm not so sure. Oh, lunch."
You ever had any dealings with the Atlantic City people?
Maybe we should give it a moment as the waiter sort of passes a large cod across the table to Dr. Steinbeck, and then you hear the squeak of a trolley behind the curtain, and they bring out a big what they called
the silver.
Cloche.
Batter thing, yeah.
Cloche, yeah. And Huang comes off, and underneath, there's this cloud of steam, and then on this sort of bed of very tender vegetables, there is what looks to be ribs.
Not looks to be.
In some sort of sauce.
This would be your special, Mr. Rick, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, indeed.
Wow, what is that you got there? Is that a hog or something?
Indeed.
As he's speaking, you see the maitre d' putting up a staff wanted sign in the front window.
He starts tucking in with both hands, just pulling the ribs apart. And
Got a little bit of...
oh, yeah.
This is the Tillinghast special, I think.
And the waiters sort of whip the curtain closed and leave.
This is very lovely, Mr. Vic. Very elegant, very kind of you to bring us to such a fine luncheon house.
Oh, my pleasure. It's always better eating with friends.
The brass tacks that you spoke of interest me very much. Are you suggesting that the interested party that had limitless funds, or put it this way, many more funds, was not our friends in Atlantic City?
Right. I can assure you they have no connection to your friends at Atlantic City.
I see.
And let me put it this way. If you were to help me, the rewards would be great, and you certainly wouldn't need to worry about some goons from out of town anymore.
Like I was saying, Eddie, have you ever had any dealings with these people before? They don't mess about.
I can't say that I have, but I know people who surely will have done.
Well, I'm just saying, if they don't get what they want, then they're gonna hold somebody responsible. And
You seem remarkably relaxed in the circumstances, I must say, Mr. Wick.
Well, I am a man who deals not only in antiques, but also in favours, much like I'm sure the Atlantic City mob do. Only the favours I procure tend to be more valuable than simply tit for tat. I've been in situations before where people who are too big for their boots think that they can intimidate me, and they have learned to their cost that they cannot.
Oh my goodness! Well, I should watch my step then, Mr. Wick.
Oh, not you, Dr. Montrose. We're all fast friends now, I think.
Can I ask you, Mr. Wick, what was the nature of your arrangement with Professor Leiter in terms of this particular transaction? Was he supposed to deliver the papers to you, and he never showed up with them, or how did it go down?
Well, I conducted business with him on several occasions, both as a as a dealer and private collector of rare books and manuscripts, you see. Dr. Leiter was in a unique position to be able to advise and often procure such things. The witch trial papers were unusually hot property for Dr. Leiter. Mostly I have made a modest profit on his offerings, but the witch trial papers spiraled somewhat out of control. It had reached several $1,000s. Mm-hmm. It promised to go much higher.
And these other transactions that you're talking about, they were all legitimate first editions and so forth and whatnot?
Yes. You can do a psychology roll if you want.
Which I've been working towards.
And is that, Dom, are you sort of saying that, can any of us join that, or is that...
Oh, yeah, by all means.
Yeah, I made a 25 under 30, so that's
all right.
A regular success on a psychology roll.
Yeah, just a regular pass.
Well, on a regular success, you can tell that he is lying about the authenticity of a lot of these papers. He's definitely sold forgeries on,
and he's known that they've been forgeries. Yeah, it's not like he's so he's
definitely not. He's definitely in on it, and he's definitely not easily duped himself. Mm-hmm. He knows his stuff. You get the impression.
Bearing all this in mind, the many important and interesting documents and books and whatever it is that you've been passing on to collectors and so forth. This was a particular interest. You think that this was a particularly special?
I do indeed.
And did the people who were bidding for it know who currently, at the time anyway, had the papers?
We assumed that Dr. Leiter had them, and the fact that they never came my way, I have to admit I felt a little betrayed by Charles. I can only assume that he had come to an arrangement with a buyer other than myself or my clients.
No,
which would be a real shame.
What I'm meaning is more the fact that your clients, they wouldn't by any chance have the means or the intention to procure these documents in another manner than the purchase through yourself.
I'm sure they have the means, but when it comes to loyalty, I think they would trust me to procure them. I don't think they would stoop to anything underhanded. And besides, these clients are foreign.
Foreign? What, like Mexican?
Further afield than that, I'm afraid.
Canadians.
Something like that.
Or possibly Europeans, or maybe even
Oh, yeah.
Asians, P.J. Mahoney. Consider the broad picture.
You're a European yourself, ain't you? Indeed. You're French or some such, ain't you?
So very close to France, but not quite. Yeah. It's a little bit of a sore point in my country right now, but that's fine. And my country, in many ways, is here now, so it's a good thing.
Now, I have been very forthcoming.
I got one more question for you.
Of course.
Just one more question.
Of course.
Who else, to your knowledge, knew that Dr. Leiter had these papers?
It's a good question. To my knowledge, the university must have known. They'd made the arrangements. So whoever his colleagues are, I presume. And I suppose young, what was the boy's name?
Cecil.
That's the one.
Yeah.
That's the one. I assume he must have known, because, well, he was Dr. Leiter's ward, I believe.
Have known, or might know still?
Might know still, I suppose.
What's the deal there with Dr. Leiter and the Cecil, his ward?
Oh, I couldn't possibly say. You're welcome to do another psychology roll.
No, that's not a success.
I've passed.
He definitely knows Cecil's involvement, and he knows what the arrangement is there.
I suppose since you are talking about what we can do for you, which I think is only fair, of course, in the exchange of ideas and information that is happening here, aside from the wonderful food, this cod is... the Miskatonic must be a very blessed river.
He bites into a bone and it cracks.
You like your food, don't you?
How are the steaks? Delicious?
They're really good. Crawford's is the best.
The doctor is nonetheless mildly horrified by the dribble of marrow juice.
Oh, yeah.
That is coming down the chin of this pallid.
Oh, she hides it well. She may be... As any decent human being would. But
I didn't mean you, I meant me. Yeah, maybe Montrose is too, but...
he just got his napkin tucked into his shirt collar.
I can't speak for Dr. Montrose.
Peas on a fork with gravy holding them together.
Maybe it might even be worth, if you're sort of observing his eating habits that closely, it might even be worth a medicine or natural world roll.
I did think, perhaps...
Unless you've got art cooking.
Well, that is interesting.
Well,
I'm going to make a natural world roll. And that is a 45, which is a fail.
I will roll my formidable medicine, which is not formidable at all. No, that is a fail also.
I'm going to roll a natural world. I've got 10% in it.
Do it.
And I got a 0 and an 80.
Oh, shame.
Tease. Yeah, but I was going to ask, just very quickly, was Leiter being potentially paid in favours rather than in money?
Oh.
By yourself? Because you are clearly a well-connected man, and was it a case of calling off the heat?
I suppose you know about Dr. Leiter's predilections.
His little problem, yeah?
I have once or twice had to intervene on his behalf.
Yeah.
Which I'm always very happy to do.
Very sophisticated way of dealing with individuals. Payment in kind.
If you will.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I feel like I've been very forthcoming with my information, and I want to ask you, really, what do you know about Dr. Leiter's death? The university have been very mealy-mouthed about it.
Well, he had a heart attack.
A heart attack?
Yeah.
I see.
And collapsed in his office.
Oh, dear. Oh, that is a shame. Nothing unusual there.
Our two colleagues, perhaps of a greater insight, sadly. They're elsewhere, but...
I'm not a doctor. I don't know whether...
Nonetheless, I am, and I would posit a theory that my two colleagues here have not yet heard. But I would suggest, are you familiar with the concept of the doppelganger? Mr. Abner-Vick, are you familiar with the concept? You laugh. So I'm saying
yes, I've heard of doppelgangers.
Yeah, they're sure. Very nice. The thing I'm most struck by was that I think he was psychologically disturbed before he died. We can say this is possibly to do with his obsession, and I'm starting to share this with Dr. Montrose and PJ, since it is genuinely the first time I've put forward this theory. But I begin to wonder if he is also mixed up with this Cecil Hunter and Mr. Cecil Hunter's skills. He may have had something of a nervous breakdown. And as we all know, this can very easily lead to cardiological problems. The stress, the anxiety of, let us say, a gambling little problem, compounded perhaps by a psychological break with the normal way of being. I was very struck by the fact that he appears to have damaged a mirror in his room before his death. I'm assuming it was him. It would make sense with my current theory. And I wonder whether he began to think that he himself was a fake, and a more authentic version of himself could be found beyond the silver glass. I am an alienist and interested in Jungian theory, following Dr. Freud's visionary processes, but breaking away from them. And I realize that what I'm talking about might sound a little bit symbolic, a little bit not very concrete. But I am very, very interested in the fact that he was working with someone such as yourself.
He puts his hand on yours at the table. His hand is cold, moist. And he says, "Oh, my dear Dr. Steinweg, I understand you completely. I completely sympathize with your theory. There are dangerous forces in this world, and beyond it, not given men to know. It may not even be symbolic, your theory. It may indeed be practical. What I have heard about Charles Leiter's death, what you have told me now corroborates. Forces such as that of which we both speak seem to gather around the papers. I am perhaps being superstitious, but certainly there is a history to those papers that is extremely tragic. And so, really, it is a humanitarian concern that I possess to acquire them, because I have perhaps the best knowledge of these things. I'm sure the university like to think that they are best equipped, but you must trust me. They're only safe in my possession, Dr. Steinberg.
Yeah, I see that you can think that. And I think he slowly pulls his hand away, wanting all the time to really just whip it out from under that cold, fleshy pad. But I think he looks maybe mildly in just the edge of panic towards Dr. Montrose. And like, what's this guy on about? But I kind of believe him.
PJ has been looking increasingly confused throughout this whole conversation, and he kind of pipes up at the end. Well, for sure, I ain't no scholar, but it sure sounds like a lot of symbolics to me.
Well, he says, well, anyway, let me tell you, the offer is open. If you find the papers, and I hope you do, and you bring them to me, you will be compensated many thousands of dollars, and you can rest easy in the knowledge that you have dealt with a difficult problem. If you give them to the university, well, there's nothing I can do to stop you, but I urge you to consider all possibilities, even those that seem far-fetched. And one more thing I should mention. Cecil had a habit of copying things. If he happened to make any copies, it would be best if they were brought to me or destroyed. You understand the economics of these things, I'm sure.
I was just going to ask you actually about this Cecil, and what kind of a man, what kind of a fellow he is. Do you think he would be perhaps mixed up in the disappearance of these papers?
Well, it's possible. He was always very quiet. You've got to watch the quiet ones.
My grandson Brian, he's a quiet one. He's a sneaky little fella. You never know what he's getting into. He looks nice as pie, and butter wouldn't melt in his mouth. But you'll find if there's a cookie jar in a cupboard, it'll be half empty, and you won't even know he was there.
Yes, young Brian, of course. Well,
but he's a good boy. He's a good boy. Yeah. He's a smart.
Have you
smart
seen
boy.
the body, Mr. Mahoney?
Me?
Dr. Leiter's body.
I ain't seen the body, no.
Oh, that's a shame, isn't it?
No, none of us have seen it. Our colleagues with greater experience in these matters have seen it. The university is going to some trouble. I believe in the morgue.
The morgue? At the university?
Why are you so interested in the body, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, I just wondered if they had interred him yet. It would be good to go and pay my respects.
I'm sure there will be a ceremony, a funeral, and so forth.
Well, do let me know if you hear of anything. And I would prefer to pay my respects privately. I don't think people should know about our business together. And I always prefer those things to be private. I get emotional, you see.
Just ignoring that weird statement completely.
Very wise.
I was wondering as well, is there anywhere, let's say, for talking for the hypotheticals, Cecil was in some way mixed up in this whole situation. He decides maybe he can get a better price for the papers if he goes and sells them somewhere else. So where might he go if he wanted to get away somewhere that wasn't right in the heart of the matter, so to speak? Is there any little hideaway he might have, perhaps, that he might go and hole up?
Cecil is quite young, and I don't think he would have any connections that I was not aware of. So I don't think that's a plausible theory. But I'm sure you could ask him. I believe he ended up in Arkham Asylum.
Arkham Asylum?
Yes.
Oh, that's a pretty, that's a pretty serious place, huh?
These gifted children, they always burn out.
Did he have some kind of a breakdown or something?
Oh, who's to say? He had a difficult upbringing, I think. Haven't we all?
Oh, Doctor, I think that's your department, isn't it, really, if we want to speak to Cecil?
Certainly is. I'm sure I can arrange an interview with him. Perhaps he'll be able to shed some light on this business of the copying. To make a copy too far is sometimes enough to put a man or a woman over the edge. Professor, Dr. Montrose, have we missed anything?
Well, I'm somewhat curious, if I'm honest, Mr. Rick, as to why you think this is a matter of protection. You said you were better placed to protect these artifacts than anyone or anywhere else. I'm a librarian. It's not my nature to feel that way when a noble institution like the Miskatonic University is well versed in preserving these artifacts for the greater good of all.
Oh, Dr. Montrose, I never said anything about protecting the artifacts. I'm more interested in protecting humanity.
Ah, you're a humanitarian. Well,
in a sense.
Yeah.
Well, listen, Mr. Wick, I think we've probably taken up enough of your time.
Oh, do you not want to stay for pudding?
Oh, I'm rather full myself.
What kind of pudding?
Oh, they have all sorts.
They got cherry pie. Oh, I don't like cherry pie.
I'm sure they can arrange. Cherry pie can be arranged. And he sort of makes eyes at the waiter who comes over. So you can either stay with him and order dessert, or you can make your excuses. But meanwhile, over at Dr. Leiter's cottage...
No, make your excuses.
I'm staying for cherry pie.
If you do stay for pudding, he quizzes all of you on your lineage, and if you have any...
he's going to hear all about my grandchildren.
He's more interested in your previous generation, it turns out, but sure, he'll sort of humour you. Meanwhile, at the cottage, Kirk's sleep ended up in the study, I think. He's currently stood next to the unconscious body of Anthony Flinders, whose leg is all bandaged up. Dr. Duckworth is stood... Let's say you've opened the back door, and Dr. Duckworth's there. You've heard this noise upstairs, Kirk. But can you both give me a listen roll now, while you're stood at the back door?
That's a regular success from me.
Oh, yeah, regular success, just.
You both hear a car pull up on the driveway at the front.
Okie dokie.
And the door goes...
So, should say, Kirk, did you hear that? Someone pulling up. Perhaps we should,
Yeah, I heard it.
Perhaps we should go around the outside. See who it is.
Maybe we should. Maybe we should warn him. I heard a sound inside there that, well, I gotta be honest with you, it didn't sound good. Did it sound, I mean, was it obvious to me that it wasn't a human growl, or?
Yeah, no, it was more like a large animal.
Sounded like maybe some kind of, sort of, maybe like a cougar or something got in.
Where?
Got in. I know that sounds crazy, but it was a growl.
Whereabouts in the house?
I think upstairs. I heard like creaking.
Right. Let's see who's in the car.
Can I ask a keeper a question? I don't know my passage through the house. I'm not asking you to send me a map, but I mean, by all means, send me a map if you'd like to. But from my passage from the front door to the back door, did I get any idea of the geography of the house?
Let me see if I can send you this. I think I can.
Because I seem to remember, like, I would have had to come through the front door, down a corridor, into the study, then through the study and out back door or something.
Yeah. So you'd have had to have come in to the front room, into the study, back out of the study, into the dining room, into the hall, into the dining room, into the kitchen, to the back door. So the back door leads straight into the kitchen, basically.
Right, okay. Do you mind giving me that sidearm back? Unless you can use it, that is.
Let's just see who's in the car, shall we?
Huh. Yeah, I hear you.
I trust you, Sleep. But remember, we did make a deal.
Sure. Kind of regretting that deal now.
Yes, well, I'm sure it's just campus security checking that everything's all right.
You hear keys jangling at the front door.
I step forwards and make myself visible. If it's a short walk, I move towards the front door.
No, looking at the map, it's a maze to get from the back to the front door. Yeah, why don't we? Do you want to watch the back door again? I'll go and check out the car on the front, or what?
Well, no. Someone's coming through the front door. Let's greet them. Otherwise, it'll seem suspicious.
What?
The university has hired us to look through this place. There's nothing suspicious in our being here.
I don't know. I don't know whether I agree with you, but
Okay, look. If I give you back...
The door opens. The door opens. Where are you stood right now?
At the back door.
At the back door. So you hear the front door open and close.
I heard the front door open and close. I hear footsteps.
You then hear footsteps going up the stairs.
Sounds like it going upstairs. Maybe we should. Shall I warn them? Shall I yell up? Don't go up there. It's dangerous.
No. Give it a moment.
All right.
I'm sort of having flashbacks to Ross's corners, and the idea of anything growling or scraping in an attic or an upstairs room is filling me with a bit of dread, so...
Listen, oh God, part of me wants to go and check this guy's going to be all right upstairs.
Yes, you're right. We should.
Well, if you like, I can go and do that. You can check out the car, but if I'm going upstairs, I'm going to need my sidearm.
I'm assuming whoever it is from the car. If I give you back your gun, do you promise not to shoot anyone?
I can't make that promise. I can promise not to shoot you.
Well, I suppose that'll have to do. At least promise me that you'll let us speak before shooting anyone.
All right. Sure, Duckworth.
You're filling me with confidence.
I'll give you that, Duckworth.
I hand him over his gun.
Okay, so I guess we make our way through to the bottom of the stairs?
Yeah, and I think I'll sort of call up, hello? Who's there? We've been hired by the university. We're just looking around an old friend's house. Hello?
Give me a listen check. Both of you.
That's a hard success from me.
30. Good success, not a hard.
So, Dr. Duckworth, you hear, and so does Sleep, you both hear the moving around upstairs suddenly stops as if someone's frozen. But Sleep hears something else. In the study, you hear a creak like a window pane moving. Ever so subtly.
Okay, where have we got to? Are we at the bottom of the stairs by now?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to ask you to identify yourselves. Yourself?
I make a sort of sign to Duckworth that sort of to indicate that I'm going to go around and check in the study and to stay here.
Yeah.
And then I start making my way to the study.
So you're in the front room at the bottom of the stairs right now.
Right, okay, great. So the study's just next door, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'd like to go up to the study door and listen at the door.
There is no sound in there now.
Okay, in that case, I'd like to go out the front door and look to see if there's any evidence of someone having just come out of the study. That's where Flinders was, right?
Yeah.
Supposedly knocked out.
Give me a spot hidden.
Yeah, that's a extreme success.
Extreme success?
Yeah.
So this street is a kind of long, winding, sort of a big cul-de-sac that's lined with lots of trees. They're all university residences, basically. So it's a very well-maintained street, sort of private street. There's a lot of foliage. Every house is very private. They've got lots of trees and stuff. But you see, off to one side of the house, across the lawn, in the foliage, you catch a glimpse of the back of someone's head disappearing. And it's very clearly a blonde woman's head.
Disappearing into the foliage?
Yeah. Meanwhile, at the bottom of the stairs, you hear there is no response to your shouting.
Make yourselves known immediately, or we'll call the authorities. And as I say that, I twist the silver-topped handle of my cane, but I don't do anything else.
Outside, I think Kirk Sleep's sort of misogynism / hero complex takes over, and he starts running towards this female figure. But he thinks about shouting, but then he looks back I look back at the house and I think about Duckworth at the bottom of the stairs and think I don't actually want to draw any attention to myself, so I just shut up and run towards this figure.
Give me a dex roll.
So I trip.
Okay.
But I sort of and I fall and I kind of feel like I kind of twisted my ankle a bit. But I pull out my my little hip flask and take take a swig of, take a slug of bourbon to, dull the pain of the little sprain in my ankle, and I keep on running, and I push it. And I fail my pushed dex roll.
So this time you really hurt your ankle.
Yeah.
You try and put weight on it, and it's actually not a sprain. It might even be a fracture. It's worse than you thought. So you lose a hit point. And you wince in pain. And when you look up, this woman's gone.
Bollocks. Well, I limp back to the house.
You can give me another spot hidden if you want, or a listen.
Well, I think I'll give you a listen. Well, no, I'm going to give you a spot hidden because it's better. Still failed. I'm only 5 points away. I'm going to spend 5 points of luck for my spot hidden.
As you're getting onto the porch, you glance down the road in the opposite direction of where the woman is coming, and you see a car just coming over. You're sort of up a hill, so you see the car slowly emerge up the horizon, if that makes sense, up the hill, and it's a car you recognise. It's the mobsters.
Oh shit!
You don't think they've seen you yet.
Okay.
You sort of catch it through the trees coming up. The car that's on the driveway, I think you don't recognise, actually.
It's not marked. It's not like a police vehicle or anything like that.
No, it's an already an old, like it's an out of date car. Bit knackered.
Okay. Okay.
What's Duckworth doing?
Is the door to the study open? Did Sleep leave it open?
Did Sleep leave it open?
Yeah. I think probably, because I just rushed to the back door.
So I can still keep an eye on the staircase from the looks of this map while sort of glancing into the study.
Yeah.
And I want to do that as quietly as possible.
You can see the prone body of Anthony Flinders.
Can I do a spot hidden to see if... I mean, he wouldn't have anything on him, because why would he be hiding in there? Which also makes it seem like there's unlikely to be anything in there left, especially if this blonde one was just jumped out the window. But can I just do a spot hidden on the room to see if anything catches my eye? I've got quite a good one. I'm an academic and all that.
Yeah.
Okay. I failed, but I think looking in, what does the study look like? I'm interested. Is it like crammed with stuff?
It's a mess.
It's a mess.
It's a mess. The desk is covered in papers.
Right. So it doesn't seem like the sort of thing I'd be able to like find something specific in quickly.
Probably not.
No.
You did a really good spot.
Okay, I'm not going to push it then. In which case I step back out to the bottom of the stairs and I say, right, I'm coming up. And I take 2 steps on the staircase and then listen to see if it forces an action from upstairs, see if there's any sort of sound.
Okay, yeah.
Yep, that's a success. And listen.
You hear the soft creak of a door open and close.
I step 1 stair down as quietly as possible to brace on the floor, and I pull my sword cane into 2 halves.
Okay.
And I say, now listen here, we're not fooling around. If you're just here out of curiosity, let me know and you can go on your way. But I have a man here with a gun who's very unhinged. And he may not be as forgiving as I, so if you'd like to parlay, this is the time.
Sorry.
Am I back yet?
Yeah, sure.
You hear parlay, this is the time.
Exactly.
Do I hear the bit where he said about man with a gun unhinged?
Yeah, probably. Maybe. I don't know.
Sure. I hobble to the bottom of the stairs and I yell up, You better believe it, bud. You don't want to mess with me on my 45. And then more quietly, I turn to Duckworth and say, Atlantic City mob outside. Follow me.
Right. Okay. I follow him.
And I take him towards the study because Flinders was hiding in a cupboard in the study, right?
Yeah, he was.
And it looked like there were a few cupboards in there. Am I right?
Yeah.
Listen, I say we hole up here, take a cupboard each, let this guy upstairs and these mobsters duke it out between them, and we just deal with the aftermath of the situation.
Excellent.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I don't suppose we have any other choice.
No, exactly.
My psychology would tell me that we leave him prone by the open one, and we take one either side. But there's slats in these that we can look through.
Yeah.
So if you see anyone about to open mine,
I shoot the motherfucker.
Well, check if they're police first, of course, or campus security, or a student.
Oh yeah. I need to give you a chance to speak to them. I remember the bargain.
Well, no. If they're Atlantic City mobsters, I suggest you do shoot them.
Right. Okay. Just get it in cover.
Okay.
This can only go well.
I sort of get into my cupboard and pull it closed.
And I get into mine.
Align my porcelain mask's eyes to one of the slats and sort of pull my sword back, facing.
And have you put Flinders in another cupboard?
Well,
no.
Did he not burst out of one or get knocked out? I assumed he was lying near an open one.
So he's but you've left him lying on the floor.
Yeah, I haven't had time to explain my theory to Duckworth, but like my theory is that if someone came in and saw a body on the floor knocked out, they would assume that someone had been in this room, taken anything of value, and cleared off. That's what I'm hoping.
Mm.
Yeah.
Just to sow a little seed in your mind, Dom.
Yeah. Okay. So, after a moment, you hear the front door. Poosh! Bang! Actually, can you both give me stealth rolls?
Wow.
Seeing as you're hiding.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't have to be stealthy to hide unless someone finds you. Okay, fine.
Well, in 6th edition, hide was a skill, so...
If my stealth is... I don't want to ask this question, but if my stealth is 40, what's a fumble?
96.
It's a fumble.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I'm not going to retcon. I was about to say, I know I'm not very stealthy, so I probably wouldn't get in a cupboard if I didn't think I could do it without being quiet, but I've failed, so I'll fail. I was 73 on a 20.
So just as you hear the door get kicked open, you quickly shut your cupboard doors, only to realise there's no real way of there's no handle on the inside, obviously, because it's a closet, and they've got really crap kind of catches, so they sort of bang and then immediately open again. And Shaughnessy are in the doorway. They see straight through into the study and make eye contact with you.
Which one of us they make eye contact with? Both
you.
Me.
Can't see my eyes.
Which one? Look who we got here then. Well. If it isn't our old friend from the speakeasy.
Gentlemen Oakes and Shaughnessy. So lovely to see you.
I say, oh, thank God it's you. I was worried it was the police.
Yes, no one wants that filth around here. Now, I suppose you're here for the autopsy.
Oh, the autopsy that we've been promised. What, are you going to have it right here and now, are you?
Well, I'd rather prefer not to. It's at 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
And is this the poor chap you were hoping to do the switcheroo with?
No.
On the floor here?
No, this is a poor, unfortunate student who he's lost his mind.
They think we were born yesterday, Mr. Oakes. What do you think of that? Mr. Oakes just sort of slowly raises a Tommy gun.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, Mr. Oakes, he's got such a sense of humour.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
In which case, I don't suppose you want the money after all.
Oh, well, we're also very reasonable. We've got a sense of humour and we're reasonable. If you've got the money, then we'll be seeing you right now.
Well, if you're reasonable, you realise it's not our money to pay, but we said we'd happily help you find it. That's why we're here.
Oh, good then.
Well, feel free to help us look. We're going through a study as we speak.
Oh, but I think you know where the money is.
Why would I know where the money was? It's the first time I've been in this house.
Listen, believe us,
We just turned up in this place. We started trying to turn it over, trying to find the money, some clue to where the money was, so that when you called us, we were looking forward to speaking to you. We're going to take you to the autopsy tonight at 8. And then we heard a car pull up. I was worried it was the police. I got some history with Boston PD. I know what Captain Lewis is like.
He looks at Oakes, and Oakes raises the gun and just the ceiling.
You're not going to give me a chance to do a fast talk roll?
Yeah, go on then.
Shit.
That is a hard success on my fast talk.
Okay. After he shoots for a second, Shaughnessy puts his hand on his arm and says, all right, this is going to go one of two ways.
All right.
You say that you can take us to this autopsy, and if we can see Mr. Leiter's body, then we'll all be happy, I'm sure.
Yeah.
We can rest easy. We can tell our employers that it's very unfortunate. I'm sure he'll send flowers. Or we can carry on playing this mad game and someone's going to get hurt.
Well,
do you know that most accidents happen in the home?
Yes, I do. And most of them involve, it's not the time. But you're right. In fact, why wait until 8? We're near enough to the morgue now. We could take you there now. I have access. I'm a professor of the university. I could show you his body now.
We were fools, though.
No.
We know you're here to protect Lucy.
Lucy?
Lucy? I know
Lucy.
Who the hell is Lucy? I never heard of a Lucy.
I know Lucy.
Oh, come now. You were talking to Lucy when you went to the speakeasy, were you not?
Yes.
I wasn't talking to no Lucy.
I was. I went to visit my friend.
Oh.
These lot ate Philly cheesesteak, and I had a catch up with my friend. I've known Lucy for years. Ask her, she'll tell you.
So you admit it. You're here to protect her by distracting us, getting us away on some goose chase.
Why would Lucy be? I mean, I don't want anyone to hurt her, no, but she's not here, is she, sir?
Oh, she's not here, Mr. Oakes. We made a terrible mistake. We followed the wrong car the whole way here.
Oh.
He starts opening the other cupboards. Lucy, the jig is up. Your friends can't help you anymore.
Listen, listen to me. I'm being honest with you now. I did hear someone upstairs, but I don't want Lucy being hurt. So I don't think it's her, but if it is, please let her come out and we'll arrange everything. The autopsy's at 8. I'll find you the money. I'll get some out myself. Just please give us a moment.
I say we all go upstairs, smoke out whoever's there. This is the way of us proving our loyalty to your cause. We'll help you. Whoever's in this house, we'll smoke them out.
My way of proving my loyalty to your cause is to tell you I trust you with a Tommy gun more than I trust my friend Sleep here with his handgun. Just joking, Kat.
You drove off earlier before we had time to tell you about the autopsy at 8. We wanted that. We didn't know how to contact you. You said, we'll be in touch. Well, we're pleased to see you. I'm glad you're in touch. We had no way of contacting you. I don't know what the big deal is. I don't know why you don't trust us.
All right, then. Well, then we'll go to this autopsy. But first, we should probably tell Lucy it's safe to come downstairs.
Can I call her if it is her? And I honestly don't believe it is.
Be my guest.
A sort of hobble. Well, they've seen the sword cane now. So I figure like it's not much against a Tommy gun. I'm not the best fighter, so I slot it back in, twist the head and sort of hobble back over, stand at the bottom of the stairs and say, I don't know who you are, but there are very dangerous men up there. You probably know that since you just had bullets coming through the floor. If it's you, Lucy, they just want to talk and I'll help you negotiate. Say if it's you. Please.
A figure appears at the top of the stairs. It is indeed Lucy Stone. She's clutching a box. She looks terrified.
Oh, bollocks. Bollocks, I thought that was her running through the hedge.
And she sees me.
Monty?
Can the others see her as well?
Not from where they're stood. I imagine you're all in the study at this point. Monty? She mouths to you.
I
Here.
I say, I draw my sword cane again. And I say, let me go up. I'll open the doors. You back me up with guns. I'll shout when I hear. And I start sort of making my way upstairs as quickly as possible. And sort of, as soon as I'm out of sight, sort of subtly gesturing for her to move back into one of the rooms.
Yeah. Okay.
You want me to get outside and watch the window in case we got a jumper?
A jumper? Oh, goodness. I wouldn't have thought that would be necessary.
Shaughnessy, Oaks, you want me to watch the back, watch outside?
I think we'll catch up if she jumps.
Sure.
I think we'll be fine just here.
Sure.
So I get to the landing and I sort of head. I mean, she can't see my face. I have one. But I'm sort of nodding my head sideways towards like one of the side rooms.
So she sort of leads you into the master bedroom.
As I'm following her, I kick one of the other doors open and say, "Hello, hello, no one in this one. I'll check the others." And I follow her in and I say, "Lucy, they're here for you. I don't know why. But you've got to get out or hide somehow. I'll tell them you've gone."
As soon as you left the roadhouse, I headed straight here because I knew I needed to get the hell out of Dodge. And
What's in the box, Lucy? What's in the box?
Oh my God. She opens the box and there's about $1,000 in cash in there. And there's something else as well. There's papers rolled up in there.
Is there?
If they see me with this, they're going to take the money. I need this money to get out of here.
Lucy, I will get you the money, but to get out of here with your life, we need to give them something as a down payment. Can I take the papers from the dollars quickly? Like the actual papers that were... You said there was some papers in with... Mm-hmm. Do I have to do something to notice if they're important?
Well, you can take them out and have a look at them.
Yeah, they're just receipts. I was thinking it might be...
They're not receipts.
Right, okay, I'll take them out and have a look at them.
They're folded up, they look like really old parchment, and as you fold them out, they're mostly illustrations, sort of strange sigils and pentagrams and runic writing.
We don't know what the Hobhouse papers look like, do we? So
you can give me an occult roll if you want.
Yeah, I've got all right occult.
Or if you've got any art and craft.
I'll go with my occult, because he's been a bit busy looking at stuff like that since last time. Just a little bit. So small on here. 28. Yes. Oh, yeah, I've got 40 occult. So, yeah, 28. Not a hard success, but a success. I might understand. I might notice.
These look like the sort of thing. It's definitely occult. It's definitely the right sort of era.
And it's stuffed in a little box with loads of cash. Okay. I immediately pull out my sword cane, wrap those notes around it, and slot it back together. And then I say, trust me. Okay, we're coming down.
Unbeknownst to you at that moment in the study, Kirk, do you want to give me a spot hidden?
Yeah, regular success.
Oaks is sort of stood staring at you. He's lowered his Tommy gun at this point. Shaughnessy has started poking around the study a bit, looking through the paperwork. He says, would you look at all these receipts? Atlantic City? Oh, wonder what he was doing there. Someone's paid for some new locks. I wonder why that is, Mr. Oaks. Do you think he was paranoid? Oaks does not respond. And then he sort of stood in the middle of... Shaughnessy sort of stood in the middle of the room, sort of looking around. It's like, you'd think a man like that with a place like this, he'd be able to find us the money. Fairly easy, you'd have thought. Leaving it so long and making a fuss for everyone, yourself included, Mr. Sleep. But, Sleep, you've noticed that Flinder's eyes have flicked open.
Fucking Flinders.
Did you get a hard success, did you say?
No, regular.
Okay.
Blessed be the power of Shub-Niggurath. Blessed be the forces that walk in the woods, free of all... Is he muttering? Just one.
No.
Just one.
No, he's not.
Okay, just check.
Always with you.
But he hasn't moved at all. It's just his eyes are open. The other two haven't noticed this yet.
Where is it? So O'Shaughnessy is looking through the stuff in there. Have I got this right way around?
Yeah.
O'Shaughnessy's going through the stuff and talking. And Oaks, who's the one with the Tommy gun, is just staring at me.
Yeah.
And we're
all in the doorway.
And we're all in the study.
Yeah. Suddenly, Flinders' hand snatches and grabs Shaughnessy's ankle. He turns around confused. Flinders opens his mouth and lets out this strange, guttural noise.
Oh my god. God. Oh, does it look like?
Get back in the cupboard.
Does it look like? Does it look like Oakes has been distracted by this at all?
Yeah, Oakes sort of glances down. You notice now that Flinders' eyes are starting to sort of get brighter, it seems.
Oh, fuck.
And Shaughnessy's clearly about to do something when he's just completely transfixed momentarily.
Oh dear.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
With a possessed cultist of dubious allegiance as my only ally.
With Brendan Gleeson and Colin Farrell.
Pretty much.
So Shaughnessy he's sort of suddenly transfixed, and then he just looks, the blood drains out of his face, and he starts just screaming and screaming, and he sort of staggers backwards to the desk, and now he's crying. Flinders is just staring. And his body just sort of rises up, his eyes locked on Shaughnessy, who by now is like, he's tearing at his own face.
Fuck.
Oakes doesn't know what to do.
Oakes isn't doing anything. Fucking hell.
He's just confused.
I don't know. I'm going to shoot one of them. But I don't know which. I don't know whether to shoot the fucking possessed guy on the floor or the guy holding a Tommy gun. I'm going to shoot Oakes.
Yeah. If I was your strategic analysis, I would recommend shooting a confused man over a man tearing his own head off.
Well, no, I wasn't going to shoot Shaughnessy.
right.
I was going to make by shooting Flinders. But it was a case of like, do I shoot Flinders to prove my allegiance to these two pricks, or do I shoot one of the pricks while he's distracted? I'm going to shoot Oakes.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to try to shoot Oakes. I mean, if this goes wrong, I'm definitely dead. He's got a Tommy gun.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a really bad idea. I'm going to shoot Flinders. Sorry.
Could you try and grab the gun? I didn't say that.
Oof. Wait, no, I'm going to shoot. Remind me, a combat roll. I can spend luck, but I can't push it.
That's right.
I'm going to shoot Oakes.
Okay.
Go with your first instincts.
Should be point blank range here, shouldn't it?
Yeah, you can have a bonus die.
Oh, thank God for that. Thanks.
Sorry, I always forget that the...
Thanks, Mike. That's... glad someone's got my back.
What else do we get?
It would have been a maneuver if you tried to grab the gun. It would have been awful.
Yeah.
It would have been terrible. So my
Fail.
dex...
I always fail at
my dex
maneuvers.
isn't very good.
They're brilliant if you pull them off, but you've got to have... No. Always split the group up, that's what I say.
Yeah, never fails.
First.
Unless.
And you get more done. How did you get on?
Well, I'm just about to roll.
Oh, right.
Thank you for the bonus die. Thank you very much for the bonus die. Without the bonus die, that was a fail, and I would have spent pretty much all my luck to get regular success. With the bonus die, it's an extreme success.
Ah, yeah.
Ooh.
A 0-9.
An impale.
0-9 or an 89.
Armor-piercing bullets.
Fantastic.
Sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the one.
So, my 45 does 1d10 plus 2 damage.
So you do, with an impale, you do the maximum amount of damage, and then you roll on it as well.
12 plus, and then another 8. Is it another, and plus 2 again? So
What do you get the plus 2 for? Just the weapon?
The weapon is 1d10 plus 2. So it's
Then, yeah,
so that's
as far as I know.
a 12 and a plus a 10. So 22 damage.
Boy.
You blow Oakes' brains apart.
Fucking hell.
The Tommy gun thunk hits the floor with a big clunk as his body, his brain, his eyeballs, fragments of his skull spray around the door arch and into the living room, and the rest of his body just falls forwards as, like, whatever he just ate just pours out the hole in his neck.
Fucking hell.
Is that a sanity roll for you? How hardened are you? I think it might be a sanity. Have you ever blown someone's head apart like that before?
Yeah. No.
I think I have.
All in a day's work.
Private investigator. I'm a private investigator. I used to work for Detroit PD. I'm 49 years old. I used to work for Detroit PD, and I'm a private investigator. It's not the first. It's not the first time I killed someone.
All right, I'll give you.
I think that's. Come on.
Yeah, maybe. Fair enough. Okay, what's Dr. Duckworth doing? You're about to come downstairs. You've just heard screaming.
I hear screaming. I hear some sort of weird noises, and then I see brain matter sort of
Yes.
against the wall below. I think I immediately push Lucy back further down the corridor. I don't want to get my sword cane out again, but I just is there silence after that? I think I'm waiting.
No, the screaming is continuing.
I think I just shout, "Sleep! Sleep! Are you okay?"
It's like a compulsion.
Sleep! Everyone falls asleep.
Like a command.
I forget that I'm an extraordinary psychotherapist.
Darren Brown, everyone.
It's a real fucking mess down here, Duckworth.
Who's that screaming?
It's O'Shaughnessy.
Why?
I can't quite explain it, but Flinders is something's wrong with Flinders. His eyes are gone. He's
okay.
We gotta get out of here. You got loose.
Yes.
We just gotta get out of here.
I untwist my cane. I remove the papers. I put them in my jacket pocket, and I get my sword. I keep my sword out, and I move down the stairs.
I pick up the Tommy gun, and I back out the study with my gun kind of fixed on Flinders on the floor.
Mm-hmm. Flinders eventually just lets go of Shaughnessy's leg, and his eyes roll back in his head, and he just falls down unconscious again. Shaughnessy is still hysterical, and you hear him muttering something. You hear him muttering, "The stars are burning in the infinity. They're burning.